All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. We are actually live on Facebook. We are also live on Instagram. If you aren't following me on Instagram, typing that in the comments. What's up, Mo? Peace, brother. You're just doing a little house maintenance. If you aren't following me on IG. And we're going to get started in a second. What's up, brother? You at work? Let me know if you can hear me, Mo. Okay, great. All right, so we live on Facebook, we live on Instagram. Looks like we got good audio. Yes, sir. Keeping the country moving. Yes, sir. Okay, great. So we got good audio on Instagram. Let's see. I think on Facebook. Let me know if you can't hear me on Facebook, and we'll get started. I like to keep these really quick. At least I like to keep them quick. Sometimes I kind of go, 20 minutes, but I think today we'll go a quick 10 minutes. I like to keep them at 8 to 10 minutes, maybe 15, maybe 20, and just drop it real quick, so keep it moving. So welcome to the 3 a.m. Club. Today is, let's see, June 29th. It's hard to believe today is June already, but it's June 29th, 2020, and we are getting ready to finish up another quarter, finishing up quarter 2, getting ready to head into quarter 3. And so I just wanted to talk a couple things as it relates to the annual planning, the quarterly review, and keeping track of just basically keeping track of how your year is progressing, and also correlate that with some of the things that are going on, around the world, and especially in the U.S. And then also wanted to make a quick announcement. So I'll get the quick announcement out the way, and I'll probably circle back around on that on the tail end. So I'm excited to announce that, man. I've been doing this for a little while. I've been putting in some work on the coaching side and establishing and developing, my skill set, my understanding, my experiences and everything, and formally coaching and helping other people accomplish their goals and accomplish their dreams. And so I'm excited to announce that I recently published a new website. If you want to check it out, you could, if you're following on Instagram, you can go to my bio and Instagram and hit the link tree. And at the top, you'll see it'll take you to the homepage, the coaching homepage on my website. If you are following me or watching this on Facebook, you can go to my fan page on Facebook. There is a button at the top of the profile that says, I believe it says Shop Now. You can click on that and it'll take you directly to my coaching program. And what I did is I actually started off started off with a company called Coach Me, which is the world's #1 digital coaching platform. And then recently just kind of transitioned everything over to my own personal platform. So if you are interested in getting coaching, somebody to help you with accountability, accountability, to help you with business planning, somebody just to help you with making that elevation in your life. I'm all about that elevation and trying to get to the next level. So if you want any help with that, check out the coaching packages. I got 3 different packages on there designed to meet everybody's budget. And if you don't have the money right now, I guarantee that come up with the money, the return on investment is going to be far exceed, whatever you pay. And part of that level up and part of getting to that next level is meeting the sacrifice that's demanded. Otherwise, you're never going to get there. So we'll get that out the way. The next thing I want to talk about. All right, Q2 wrap up. So if you, from a business planning standpoint, and it took me a while to kind of start thinking about this, especially from an entrepreneur standpoint, if you're in corporate America, it's kind of ingrained in you to have a quarterly mindset, especially if you are in a sales role. But from an entrepreneur role, unless you're coming direct from corporate America, which I did in a sense, but I had I dropped out of corporate America at 24. So, I didn't have a long stint in corporate America, but nonetheless, from an entrepreneur standpoint, from a business standpoint, starting to really think about your year and breaking your year down in that quarterly performance format and really having a 12-month structure. I've talked about this a number of times. I haven't really taught that much about it on the 3 a.m. club, but basically having a 12-month structure that allows you to do your business planning for 12 months, then it allows you to break down that business plan on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, and then again, annual basis. And the idea is that you're able to literally break down your plan for that year and then create an environment where you're able to track the progress from week to week, month to month, and quarter to quarter. So as we are at June 29th, we've got 31 days. Check my calendar. We got 30 days left in the year. So tomorrow's the last day of, or not the year, but 30 days in the month of June. That means we've got one more day left, that quarter being April, May, and June. So if you don't know what quarters are, basically quarters are, the first quarter is January, February, March. The second quarter is April, May, and June. The third quarter is July, August, and September. And then the fourth quarter is October, November, and December. But what happens at the end of each quarter is that, appreciate it, Drea. So what happens, so at the end of the quarter, what happens is that you should be doing some type of review to see how did I perform, how did things go in this quarter, and did we accomplish what we were supposed to accomplish during this quarter. So part of that annual planning process and then transitioning from quarter to quarter, there's a component where you establish the priorities for that particular quarter. So when you end one quarter, like right now, we're getting ready to end one quarter. Part of that quarter process is also preparing for the next quarter and articulating what are the most important items that we need to accomplish for this next quarter. So at the end of Q3, you can clearly see whether or not you reached and accomplished your goals or reached and accomplished the milestones and the metrics that you were supposed to accomplish for that quarter. So as you are doing your Q2 review, the first thing is, can you articulate the 3 to 7, okay, 3 to 7 most important priorities that you needed to accomplish for Q2, okay? If you cannot articulate that, then you do not have the level of clarity that you need and that you needed for the quarter in order to determine how you should have best used your time during that period, that 3-month period, so that you could accomplish 3 to 7 most important priorities for the quarter. So that's one layer, right? What are the 3 to 7 priorities? And then within those priorities, or maybe outside of those priorities, there are certain areas that are part of your job day in and day out. Now I say job because even if you own your company, you are fulfilling a role, a job role within that company, and there's some type of performance, there's some type of duty, there is something that should be that you have to do as part of the job, and where the performance on that job impacts the overall success or failure profitability of that company. So in addition to the 3 to 7 most important priorities, there's the component of how did I actually perform this quarter, and the most important, usually the most important, is how much revenue did you make, how much were your expenses, and how much you profit, right? At the very high level, that business performance metric is profit and revenue. From an individual job standpoint, it may be, I don't know, how many new clients did we get, how many new email addresses did we get, it could be how many phone calls did we make. There are a lot of different performance metrics that make up not only the job that you're doing now, there are also performance metrics for the various jobs that other people may be doing for you. So this is, again, very high level business mastery, business knowledge. It may or may not be applicable and full to you now, but these are things that are going to become applicable to you as your business mastery increases over time, as well as your business itself grows over time, and there's more complexity and more dynamics to it. So anyway, Q2 wrap up. How did you perform in the second quarter? And did you articulate ahead of time those 3 to 7 priorities? And of those 3 to 7 priorities, how many of them did you actually complete? How many of them did you actually accomplish? Now, what I also wanted to talk about is correlating that to what is actually going on around the world, and especially in America, but certainly this is a worldwide pandemic. Regardless of what the news may say, regardless of what you may personally think, there is a worldwide pandemic that is going on, and we are literally still in the beginning stages. Although it may seem hard to fathom, because it's been it's been 6 months since the news started touching America that, hey, we got this virus going on. So we've spent the entire 6 months of this year dealing with this virus, and we really are still in the beginning stages of that. So what does that mean from a financial standpoint, from an economic standpoint, from a business standpoint, from an entrepreneur standpoint, from a leveling point? Well, it has a lot of implications, right? Because people cannot leave their house en masse. A lot of people have lost jobs. A lot of companies have filed for bankruptcy. A lot of companies have actually closed down. From a sales standpoint, certainly if your sales have fallen, which in whatever, however you measure sales, or what that may however you do business, there has been some type of impact to your business. Maybe you haven't been able to host events and you get paid from live events. Maybe you sold stuff on the side at flea markets on the weekend, or whatever it was. Everybody's business has been impacted some way and somehow. So when you're doing that Q2 review for this year, don't be upset at yourself, or don't be too frustrated, or don't be too hard on yourself, and think whatever situation you're in or whatever is going on is unique to you. Now, to contextualize that, it is not unique to you. If you haven't been paying attention to the economic news, the financial news, the business news, on the employee side, we have literally had tens of millions of people who have lost their jobs, right? And now we're not talking about people who've been furloughed. Well, I think that count may include people who have been furloughed, but people who have been pushed to part-time status, people who are no longer looking for work. But literally tens of millions of people have lost their jobs in the last 2 months. That's on the east side. And the unemployment rate literally has reached levels that it hasn't reached since the Great Depression. On the business side, the ownership side, the corporate side, not even talking the small business side, because those metrics are even harder to actually calculate and follow. But following the corporate metric only shows you how much dire it is for the small business owner. We're talking about corporations making hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Anyway, there have been countless companies that have had to file for bankruptcy during this last quarter, during this Q2, and there are a lot more who are going to have to file for bankruptcy. Now, they say bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean that a business is going out of business, but there's a strong chance that a lot of these businesses are going to go out of business, because stay-at-home orders are probably going to be in place at least until December. And honestly, things are going to get a lot worse in the winter months. So we could really be on these stay-at-home order until this time next year, if not longer. So businesses like household names that we all know, Hertz, right? The car rental company, Hertz, filed for bankruptcy. Gold's Gym, filed for bankruptcy. Aldo Shoes, filed for bankruptcy. Advantage Car Rental, filed for bankruptcy. Louis, filed for bankruptcy. Chuck E. Cheese, filed for bankruptcy, right? Like I could go on and on. There are so many companies filing for bankruptcy that literally, if you log on, you could Google this. Google Forbes and then do Forbes coronavirus bankruptcy tracker. Forbes magazine is literally tracking, and you know, this is news. You can get on Reuters, you can get on CNN, but there's a tracker on Forbes magazine that is literally tracking all of the corporate bankruptcy filings that are happening as a result of the global pandemic. And that's just a few companies in this. I can't imagine how many companies around the world are being impacted. Local governments are being impacted. They aren't talking about that, but there's lower tax revenue coming in. So literally from the average Joe going out to work to make his salary dollar up to large corporations and government entities around the world are impacted financially. So from a financial standpoint, when you evaluate your quarter, it is going to be, it is what it is. It's going to be what it is. Now, how do you adapt and how do you respond to the environment that we find ourselves in? And it's literally a new economy, and it's an economy where if you make money by selling some type of product or service, and you typically have to do that in person, it is imperative that you figure out how to provide your product and provide your service over the internet. If you have not been a believer in social media, especially from a standpoint, a lot of people, you know, I used to be very anti-social media. I didn't get on that much. And then a couple years ago, I started really paying a lot of attention to, okay, social media, the internet is a very big opportunity for you to network, right? To leverage your business, to do a lot of things. I think like never before, the necessity of the internet, the necessity of social media, the necessity of being online has proven itself beyond a reasonable doubt. So much so that literally from your local business being able to sell their product by you taking an order on an app, or the local restaurant taking an order on an app or on their website, and you being able to pick up that order curbside, all the way up to literally the Supreme Court of the United States of America, right? The highest court in the land, for the first time ever, has had hearings over the internet and over these public internet airwaves, because literally the justices, the people in the court, the lawyers, the defendants, et cetera, could not convene in a courthouse safely. And so you have had literally the highest levels of conversation, highest levels of privacy being cracked open, and the internet coming in to literally save the day so that we can still handle business. So if you are not selling your product or service over the internet, it is time that you figure out how to do that, because that may be the only opportunity that you have to literally save or grow your business. Now, what does that look like? It may look like you having consultations over the internet. It may mean those live events that you used to have to sell your product, you're now having them online, maybe live you're doing on Facebook, maybe a webinar that you're doing on Facebook, and then your main product or service pitch during that live event or that webinar. There are so many ways to sell a product and sell a business, to sell a service, to sell yourself online. It is imperative that you learn how to do that. And I guarantee you, anyone, if you're watching right now and you've been in business, you want to get in business, you had a business and it failed and you want to start another business, if you take the perspective, right? If you take the perspective that I don't need the internet to survive, I'm telling you, in 10 years and 15 years, really a year, you're pretty much outdated, especially with the younger generation learning and literally being shown and it being proven that you can live your entire life online. The next generation and the generation after that is going to be so accustomed to doing business learning, growing, buying, selling, everything over the internet, that it has now become a critical component of life that is not going to ever go anywhere. It's like a utility. It is an essential service. It is an essential product. It is literally holding the world together right now. Now, if we didn't have All right, what's up? What's up? Looks like we're back. All right, I don't know what happened. I gotta plug my computer up to the Ethernet cable instead of using the Wi-Fi. But anyway, if you want to watch the end of the video, also streaming on IG Live, the entire video, the ending is on my Instagram. My Instagram is the same as my handle at the bottom of the screen. Let's see, right there, boom, Legacy at Legacy Emotion. Find me on Instagram, add me on Instagram. You can also check out the ending on Instagram. I'll try to post the full video on Facebook as well. But thanks for logging on. It was great talking with you. It was a great conversation. I hope that you do your Q2 review. You also prepare for the third quarter by establishing your priorities, not being too hard on yourself, and establishing a strategy and a game plan for you to navigate through COVID-19, as there's going to be a lot, even more disruption and destruction in the economy. And it is your job as an entrepreneur, it is your job as somebody who is trying to level up to figure out, how am I going to get through these challenging times economically as the world continues to deal with the fallout and the repercussions of COVID-19. So thanks for logging on, 3 a.m. Club. Again, we do this each and every Monday at 3 a.m. where we talk about business, we talk about entrepreneurship, talk about making that level up. And again, if you want coaching, if you want help, if you want that accountability, check out my fan page, go to my website, check out my coaching packages, sign up, and let's get to work so we can get to that level up. All right, peace.